Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome into the building. Happy Tuesday, okay? This is Trending Topics Tuesday, and we got some stuff that we're going to chat about. I'm glad to see y'all in the building. I hope y'all ain't cheating the diva. I hope that y'all are hitting the like button, okay? Get your ticket, people. Get your ticket because we got a show tonight, and we're going to get it in, okay? And remember what we said. Catch the train, don't catch feelings, okay? Catch the trains, don't catch feelings. All right, Stephanie, I see. You know what? I wasn't going to put this at the top of the docket, but I might just have to. I'm excited to talk about the Kenya Moore interview. Oh, God, y'all going to kill me? We going to talk about it, though. We're going to talk about it, but y'all better hold on to your seats when we talk about this interview. And I'm telling y'all again ahead of time, don't catch no feelings, catch the train, because I got my own opinion about the interview, and we're going to talk about it. That's right, in my opinion. Choo-choo, okay? So Kenya Moore's on the docket. Then we got Judge Glenda Hatchett, okay? She had, Leah, you took your anxiety meds. Child. Can you slide one over to me virtually? Because I may need one, okay? Then we got Judge Glenda Hatchett. Well, Judge Glenda Hatchett, you know, she was at a convention and somebody SA'd her. Judge Glenda Hatchett is 72. Somebody SA'd her. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But you know what? She a tough cookie and she relentless. And she made sure she didn't back down. She pressed charges and she didn't back down until they did something to the person who did something to her. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about this pissed off fiance. He's pissed off. He caught his soon to be wife cheating. Okay, he had the engagement party. And at the engagement party, he made an announcement. He said, this lying, cheating, you know, soon to be a wife of mine, I know what she doing, and she can go have fun with the person she really loved. Yeah, he did. He embarrassed her at the engagement party with 150 guests watching and listening and hearing his speech. So we're going to get into, we got some good stuff tonight for Trending Topics Tuesday, okay? Now the platform is jam packed, okay? These are the early birds. The early birds be coming, catching the train, and getting back here. So we got the people waiting to get on the platform. Y'all know what I need in that chat. Y'all know what I need. Come on, Jersey girl. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. We about to board this train for Trending Topics Tuesday. And like I said, we got stuff to talk about, okay? Listen, he's been missing in action for a little bit, but he here. Okay, in the name of Wendy Williams. Wherever you at, Wendy Williams out there, you know what? No matter how people feel about you, Wendy, you that chick that started this whole thing that's going down on the YouTube streets now, honey. You the reason why we all here. Using our voice, having trending topics, okay? Come on now, people. Give it up for Wendy Williams.
Love for Wendy Williams. Yeah. Hey, y'all. Y'all know I love y'all so much for real. I really, really do. But I really have a personal love for Wendy. Like you said, Diva, if it was not for her, we would not be out here doing what we do. Wendy really helped me feel comfortable and come out of my box, about me and my sexuality. You can be, the big personality that Wendy is on national TV and on national radio. Anybody can do what they want to do, period.
Come on now. Period. Okay. You know what I also love about Wendy? What I love about Wendy is a lot of times, a lot of us, including myself, we go to school for one thing, and sometimes we don't even end up in that profession that we went to school for. Wendy Williams knew when she was little, okay, that's what she wanted to do. That chick went to school for communications, came out, worked for a radio station, and she didn't care that she was not making a whole lot of money. She took that job anyway, did the darn thing, made it from radio to TV. Okay, that tells you right there consistency, perseverance, and everything will get you where you want to be. Like I said, everybody in that chat, give it up. Love or hate her, give it up So Wendy, we are doing the darn thing. Okay.
We
Now,
love you, Wendy, and we miss the purple chair, girl.
I'm gonna, you know, I need to. I'm gonna have to find me a color. I'm gonna find me a color
What
chair to get me. Okay, get me a nice little chair back here, sit up nice and tall and everything. So hey, Robin. Hey, Sebastian. Hey, Dustin. In my opinion,
Hey, Diva.
okay, the Don is here next to his virtual wife,
Can I-
Eve. Okay,
just-
Leo, 1 second, Dustin, please. Leo and Felicia is in the building. We got the platform is jam-packed. Yes, Dustin, what would you like to say?
Can I give you my flowers to my favorite TV host, Sherry Shepherd?
Oh,
My
shoot.
favorite talk show
Okay.
host. Give her flowers, Diva. Come on
Oh,
now.
shoot,
give
I'm
her-
She needs to
sorry.
go give her child some flowers that she
okay.
left.
Hold on now. Now, Dustin has spoken. He wanted me.
She needs to give her flowers. She does
flowers.
a hell of a better job than Wendy Williams does, in
Oh.
my opinion.
Oh no,
well, that's just your opinion.
that's just yours. Because she's not taking. She needs to go take care of Lamar Sally Jr.
The train is shaking. The train is shaking.
As soon as it pulled out the building.
Oh, my Lord.
She needs to go take care of her child. That she's
Okay, Diva, let's get to the first topic.
Okay, thank you. In my opinion, because whoa, the train.
Whoa.
Okay, whoa.
Right, Miss G. Don't get me started, because I don't play when it comes to Miss Wendy.
You know
no.
what? Leah, I did reach out to Shan. I'm waiting for her to respond to me.
I was about to ask you the same thing,
Yeah.
Diva. It's been on my mind for a week.
Yeah. I did.
Where the VIP at?
Yeah, the VIP. You know what? I'm gonna reach out to her again tonight. But I did reach out to her because yes, we've been thinking about her. But thank you for asking. I'm gonna find out.
Social media, she's okay. I do follow her on Instagram. She's been posting, so things seem to be fine. So
okay, so she's okay. She's
Yeah.
probably just busy because Shan is a nurse too, so she's probably busy. So okay, so hold on, guys, don't say a word because I'm about to get into this. Okay, so because of y'all, I really didn't want to. I was gonna leave this to last, but for those who came for this, okay, here we go. We're gonna get into it. Okay, so the Kenya Moore interview part 2 over there with Carlos King. All right. Well, I'm gonna give it to y'all up front. You know what? Let me get up front before y'all be like, oh, Diva, you hating. No, let me give it up front. Shout out to Carlos King, for getting these interviews and doing them in 2 parts. Okay. Shout out to Carlos King. I'm very happy for him. Okay. No hate over that way. Overall, what did I think about the interview? I think that every last one of the people who work for Bravo, they're very self-serving. I think that into the racism, the alcoholism, the alleged sexism, racism, all of those things in the bucket, throw them all in the bucket until it smacks them in the face. They turn a blind eye to it. They can't see. They got blinders on. They got tunnel vision. But then as soon as it smacks them in the face, all of a sudden they wake up and they're like, oh my God, it's so wrong. They're trying to phase me out. I did some great things and they didn't show it. So yes, Kenya Moore admitted on there. She said, I showed the opening to my Kenya Moore hair care spa and they didn't show it. But then in a nicer way, she shaded her other cast members. She said we had to sit there and watch 25 minutes of Candy doing a read for her movie. I said, but that's supposed to be her friend. But okay, she talked about, we had to see Marlo do Foster Care Fridays. Why didn't my situation make it on the screen? Okay, she said that Sonya and Drew, roundabout really didn't deserve their peach. Okay, so a lot went on here. She claims that Apollo lied, and to no surprise, she said Apollo lied. Phaedra lied about the whole thing, that she wanted to suck Apollo's private parts, and Apollo tried to apologize to her, but it took him a long time to trying to film that scene. Okay, so that's what he said about that. Now, when it came to Portia, she said, I really think if we could roll back the time in the footage, right, She said that, you know, her and Portia would have been big sis and little sis. Okay, all right. You know, and so, but she, at the same time, she said though that the season 6 reunion, you know, traumatized her, and she wasn't sure she was gonna come back because, you know, her putting her hair tugged on the screen and whatnot, traumatized her, and people was in the streets was trying to try her. Young chicks was thinking she was a punk, and they was trying to try her and come up and just pull her hair. So she went through therapy for that. Okay. She said, you know, they are on speaking terms. They're following each other on social media, her and Portia, right? And, you know, and they was always authentic back then. It was always authentic. It wasn't these made up storylines. Okay. She said Kenya feels like Drew and Sonya didn't earn their peaches. Think casting works better when people audition for a while and earn the peach the same way her and Portia did. Okay. Kenya feels like Claudia and Eva deserve more seasons. Okay. She felt like Marlo destroyed the last 2 seasons of the show. So you can't make a fan a housewife. And she also asked, like many others did, why does she have a chairlift in her townhouse? Okay. She said, where does Marlo get her money from? Okay. It was a lot going on between, you know, and she feels like production just, you know, is in Marlo's favor. That's what she said, right? She also had a lot to say about Courtney. I guess she's no longer cousin Courtney. She's just Courtney, right? About Courtney, saying Courtney's broke. This ain't diva. So come on now. This ain't diva. She said Courtney's broke. Okay, Courtney's broke. She said Courtney don't have a home. She's living on somebody's couch. Okay, says she's living on somebody's couch. She said her jewelry line is made of paper clips that you just put together, and she's calling it a jewelry line. And she said Courtney needs to tell us about why she talks crooked. I was like, ooh. And she also wants to know why Courtney, you know, why don't she talk about how her husband left her homeless and broke? Okay. So we got a situation of homeless, not toothless, okay? With Courtney.
I forgot she said that.
Yeah, she said a lot of stuff. No, I listened and I watched it twice because I know how y'all like to get in me that think like I made me think I missed something or misunderstood the interview. So I took some good notes here so y'all can know that, yeah, I watched it, I paid attention, and I took notes, okay? She said, you know, season 15, which is this season right here, is not as bad as people are making it out to be, but says it's the worst season she's been a part of because of casting choices, right? And you know, and Carlos convinced Kenya to go to the season 11 finale. And she didn't want to go, and you know, and that's the scene where Nene calls her baby a buffalo, right? So you know, and Kenya feels like, I'm just telling you what happened here. This ain't deep now. I took my notes, right? Kenya feels like Courtney had an agenda and wanted a peach. Admits she's bored this season because she has to work with people like Courtney, okay? And she read her about her business, her behavior, and overall thirstiness. She called Courtney thirsty, okay? Kenya said some serious casting changes need to be done, not a full reboot. So in other words, keep me, but fix everybody else. Nobody ever thinks they the problem. Everybody else is the problem, but that's a whole nother situation and story in and of itself, right? She says, be careful what you ask for. She's talking to us, the fans. She said, because we were screaming to give Marlo a peach. And she said, see, y'all was begging for Marlo to get a peach. And now look, y'all see what y'all did? So she blaming Marlo on us, the fans, okay? She said she broke the fourth wall at the dinner in Portugal and said that the girls told the girls, y'all ruining the show. She said, with your fake beats, manufactured drama, alliances, and coaching the new girls. Okay. She said, we needed that fourth wall moment. Okay, Kenya. Okay. So she also talked about half of Kenya. She said half of her business storylines was cut from the show. Her process is showing Kenya more hair care and overall journey of learning to be a successful entrepreneur was not shown. Okay. And then she said, if I talk about the dream cast, she said, it needs women who are authentic, can anchor the show. She calls the season 6 cast the dream team, but says it's impossible to ever have that cast again because that included Nene Leakes, okay? She says she has a movie coming out this fall and she's the star, honey. She said, although she's the second on the call sheet, don't get it twisted. She's the star. She's the lead actress.
The moment.
She's a moment. Okay. And she said she is working on her memoir. And what did she say? What I forgot the name that she called it. What did she call that thing?
Biopic? A biopic?
Invisible.
Invisible.
I will say this though. I will say this. That's a good name. I like
that
that
is
name.
a very good name.
That's a good
and I
name.
do think she should do that movie and have Coco. I do think the Coco.
But you notice, see, Carlos King, he can't just interview. He always got to put in 99 digs about himself. Oh, it was best when I was there. Y'all always call me and ask me for advice. I don't want to be a part of something that ain't great. Well, bro, you are part of a whole bunch of own shows that you produce and it ain't great. What are you talking about? Listen, I cannot. If y'all want to keep this thing real, we be fighting. We be virtually fighting because I cannot. He gave himself all these accolades and then said, "Can I produce your movie?" Bro, this is an interview. Can you interview the chick? We know, Carlos, you're great. We know, Carlos, Roa was nothing else without you. We know, Carlos, you told the people to call you if they got any problems producing the show. We know, Carlos, you're best friends with all the girls, and anytime they can't do something, they call you. Carlos, stop. What?
He's watching me.
I can't. I cannot. Thank you, Sheila. Roya, what are your thoughts on this darn interview part 2?
Well, let me speak on Carlos real quick. Like you said, Carlos, we appreciate everything that you have brought to the game. But, sir, the way that I see this, you are having a circus, and these people that you are bringing are your clowns, and you're clowning them out one by one. Now, in the last interview, you tried to sit up here and say that you love Nene, and she your favorite, and she your only one, and she number one, and da-da-da-da-da. Now, here we go with Kenya. Kenya's your favorite. Kenya's your number one. Y'all besties. Y'all talk every once a week and every other day. Like, sir, we're not here for a personal relationship. We're here to learn about Kenya, okay? What? So how I feel about Kenya, I understand Kenya and why the way she is based off of this interview. This interview really answered a lot of questions, and it gave me the answer of who Kenya is. Kenya is a hurt young lady who grew up without a mother, who denied her entire life, and she is looking to be loved and longed from someone to fill that void that she has, her mother has left empty, on her behalf. I thought it was very sad at the beginning how Kenya, talked about how her mother, pretty much trashed her, tried to get her kicked off of, the little pageants that she was on and the ones that she won. She tried to have her denounced. This mother was horrible to Kenya. So I can kind of understand, and I was talking to Diva about this. I understand why Kenya shows up in the world the way she does on this TV. If I had a mother like that, I would probably show up similar to how she shows up on a regular basis, okay? As far as her being traumatized by the season 6, whatever season that was, that Portia, came and did what she did. Were you traumatized when you continuously harassed Kim Fields when she was on for season 8?
Whoa.
Pulled the chair from up under her multiple times. Her husband being gay.
Whoa. Talk. Remind the people.
As a cast member and as a friend, is that what we do? And speaking of friendship, if you so friends, whether they showed your storyline, whether they got you on the show, whether they kicked you off. If Candy is your friend, why are you complaining about having to sit through 25 minutes of a listening of something that she's doing? If you my friend, I want you to support me no matter what. That's what real friends do. Even if you like it or don't, you can come and tell me personally whether or not you liked it, but to get on national cameras, and tell the people that this was boring, and instead of showing my fabulous life, we had to sit here and watch this. It's the double standards for me. I can't. You can't be wanting to be mad at Bravo for them doing you wrong and treating you a certain way, but you treat the other people the same way that they treat you.
Well,
okay.
Come on now, talk about. Hold on 1 second, William. Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey Diva, can Carlos stop the infomercial with the infomercials mid video? Sir, just do a regular plug for your merch. I'm trying to tell you, raindrops, buy your merch. Buy your merch. I can't stand you, Ray. Why you came back?
No,
I cannot stand stand you.
doing this to people
can't
because
stand
I
you,
feel the
Wynn.
same way. I hate when they do like, sir, you told us at the beginning of the video, we don't need a middle and the end. We appreciate it. Thank you. If we want your merch, we will buy it. Okay.
Yeah. Get your merch raindrops. Go ahead, Wynn.
Whomever those are. Okay. Lastly, my final thoughts. Kenya is a mean girl. She always has been, always will be. And I, like I said, I understand where she comes from, so I get it. And then, Kenya, we've gone through everything we can go through with you. We've seen twirl, we've seen you dating, you've had a baby, you got married, you've opened Kenya More Hair Care. What more can you give us? Whatever happened to just leaving gracefully, like Cynthia did? Cynthia, she said she didn't want it and she walked away quietly. Portia, she didn't want it, she walked away quietly.
Come on, talk about it.
Just leaving.
Yeah.
Sometimes
silence is golden.
Silence is golden.
Come on, now talk about
I'm gonna
it.
get you.
And you walk away gracefully, you will be surprised how fast people want you back.
Woo! Woo! Because aren't they trying to negotiate a big paycheck with Portia? Who silence is golden. You better put that in the chat.
Moved TV shows just to put Phaedra back on TV. They moved her to a whole.
And Dr. Heavenly had to bring Phaedra out because Phaedra's being boring as hell. Dr. Heavenly done had to put her out.
Okay,
but
hold on one second
Bravo was
now.
ready to throw her up there. They was ready.
Hashtag silence is golden. You better come on, Kathy Hilton, come on, Sheila. Silence is golden. Warrior, you dropped the mic.
I mean,
Sebastian, what would you like to say?
Okay. This interview said a lot of. I agreed with a lot of things that Kenya said in this interview. That moment where she's talking about the chairlift, it reminded me of Nini's moment where she's like, "Where is your scooter? Where is it? Where's your scooter? Where is it?"
It did the same for me. It did the same for me. Yes.
It reminded me of that exact moment. So Kenya, her childhood, it really showed a lot. And I know some of y'all mentioned about the Cynthia thing leaving gracefully. Cynthia did not leave gracefully. She did an interview, and after she left, saying that she didn't stay anymore because she got a friend up contract and she didn't feel that it was okay. So we need to go look at that video.
But she didn't drag anybody.
No, she didn't drag anyone. Well, Cynthia was just a pretty face, so she had no one to really be dragging. So I'm just saying the truth. She was just a pretty face on the show. She had no one to be dragging. She was left amicably off that show. Kenya, I agree with her when she said her and Portia had to work to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I 100% agree. If these women actually did work to earn their peach instead of getting the peach in the beginning, it'd be great. But I also acknowledge where she said how Marlo, there's a reason why fans should not become housewives. And it made a lot of sense. Because Marlo, we really haven't really heard anything about Marlo's life, really. All we heard about is the mama. We saw the mama come back. She's taking the nephews. But yet Kenya did break a good point. There are 4 felony charges on her. Why have we not talked about that? It's true.
Talked about that.
No, she has not talked about her felony charges. She has never said, "I slashed a woman in her face." She has not said that.
Hold on one second, Sebastian. Trent, thank you for the super chat. Trent, you being messy tonight. You being messy, but I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, Sebastian.
We have not. She's right about Marlo. We have not really seen anything. What about the house that she was building? Where is it? Where is your house? Where is it? I will say this also. I did not agree with what she said about Drew. I do think that Drew did have a good season because she's gonna have a divorce and a whole bunch of things. But I did agree with Sonia. I did agree. Sonia is not the type of person who should be a housewife. If you really look at it, most of Sonia's, she only says like 2 or 4 sentences in a scene. So there's no reason for her to actually have a peach. They could have given somebody else a peach. And I agree the season 6 season was probably the best season ever. And season 7 was pretty good too, because Claudia was there too. So I do agree that in that case, but I do acknowledge that when she said that We're probably never gonna get that because Nene and etc. Yeah, Nene's not coming back to Bravo. You guys are gonna drag me. I agree with what she said. We've been seeing Candies too. We've been seeing so many damn candy scenes. No one cares about a couple of lines in a movie on a reality show. We see that in the theaters, not on the reality show. We don't need to see your movie filming on the reality show. We need to see your movie in the theaters. She said nothing but the truth. And I know some of y'all saying, oh, what about she's Candy's friend? She's supposed to support her friend. She's supposed to support her friend. Well, Candy didn't support her. Candy thought Kenya was a hoe from the beginning when about the Apollo situation. She actually said it herself, and she admitted that she really did think that she did do something with Apollo till Apollo came out and said no, that it was all a lie. And you know what that also shows me?
What?
People who can sit up here and defend Phaedra Parks are just horrible, nasty people. Because if Phaedra was allowing lies like this to be completely constructed and spewed out here, when there's so many things come out about Phaedra, Angela Stanton has spoken about Phaedra giving her certain potions while she was pregnant so she could lose her child. But there are so many things spoken about Phaedra. Phaedra is a liar too, and I don't know why people enable her.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I love Kenya Moore so much. I really do. I really want to know if she's going to write that memoir. I'll be one of the first people to buy that memoir. I really want her to have another child. And y'all all said she wouldn't be with Roy, and she's still with Roy. She is still with Roy. She is still with Roy. She's very much with Roy, guys. Hopefully she has another child because Brooklyn's so adorable and so cute and everything. We would love to see another one of Brooklyn running around, or if not, Brooks, a guy. We would love to see. As much as we might hate Mark, but we have to call it like it is. Toxic men give great children. It's sad.
What?
Diva, don't do that face, Diva. Toxic men and dangerous men like
now
Mark
you're drunk. You're
give
drunk.
great
Sebastian.
children.
I was trying to let you finish, Sebastian, but now you
It's
went
a
to your
fact,
drunken
Diva.
phase. You went into your drunken phase. Toxic men give great children. What are you talking
Toxic
about,
men
Sebastian?
like Mark probably give great children.
Hold on one second. Southern Girl, Portia was a fan and y'all love her. Come on, Southern Girl, you better talk to these people.
Portia was not a fan. Portia was authentic.
He loved Kim and Marlo, a fan of the show. And then and come on,
the show wasn't really that big back then.
Wait, Nikki, come on now. Be clear. Every single Housewives was a fan, is a fan, with the exception of the original franchise. All of the Housewives watched a Housewives show and wanted to be a part of it. So please, let's not. Well, Nikki, come on, we connected tonight. And that is facts, Nikki, okay? So hold on one second. I'm coming back to you, Sebastian. Trent, thank you for the super chat. Question is anybody interested in watching the Candy movie? Y'all know I'm gonna watch it. Come on now, don't do that. Thank you for the super chat, Trent. And I thank you for the super chat. Courtney, Sonia, and Moniana would not have been on the show if they had to audition. Drew would make the cut because she's a pathological liar, not in the Phaedra way, and low-key entertaining. And I agree with you on that. Thank you for the super chat. But remember, Moniana is a friend. Courtney is a friend. Shamia she's a friend. So Sonya out of that group is the only one that has her Peach. And I think they did it more with Sonya because they felt like she had some star power, I guess, as the Olympian. And also the fact that Sonya was on other reality TV shows. So they thought probably she might bring some to the Housewives. Okay. So go ahead, Sebastian, finish, and then I gotta move on to E.
No problem. No problem. But yeah, we need another Brooklyn. We need another child from Kenya. We really do. And you know what? I agree. Coco Jones should play Kenya if she does make that movie. Coco Jones should play Kenya, and Kenya should definitely play her mother. It would be great to see how everything came out. Mothers like, I will say this as well, mothers like Kenya, there's a special place in hell for you.
I think, to be honest with you, Kenya's mother suffers from severe mental illness.
But she acknowledged her not too long ago. She actually said some. She said her mother said hi to her.
Just because you acknowledge somebody, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you all of a sudden now you're out of it, you're in it. I really think that Kenya Moore's mom suffers severe mental illness, and I think that the family probably felt her more than her mom because they knew that the mom suffered, and they still exposed Kenya to this suffering, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I kind of see.
So
But
it's like knowing that someone's parents are on drugs really bad, and you lead the child in that environment, right? It's like, you're setting that child up for failure. But I got to move on, Sebastian. So
no problem.
Yeah.
So, first off, I was so happy that Carlos dispelled the rumors. I'm pretty sure some people knew this already, but this was my first time hearing this. That he did not tell Phaedra that Candy wanted to drug Portia and take her to the dungeon. I was so happy that both he and Kenya said flat out, Phaedra is diabolical, she's menacing, and she's criminally dishonest. And so the fact that Bravo would maneuver Phaedra from show to show for ratings proves they care nothing about ethics. And for the fans who go up for Phaedra, this person should be in jail, okay? And I wish healing and protection to the entire cast of Married to Medicine, except for Heavenly and Jackie. Those two, you can for yourselves. Ladies on Married to Medicine, beware. Now on to this interview. I will be buying the memoir too. I think Kenya's story is so dynamic and interesting, and she came across as very likable, very forthright, down to earth, and her insights regarding marketing and show production, I agree with 10,000%. 10,000%. There's no reason for Marlo to be full-time, period. Courtney and Monyetta should not even be friends of. We don't need friends like these, okay? Because we like our friends to clock in. Monyetta and Courtney, they're on LOA, and I can't take it, okay? There was no reason to bring Sheree back. Sanya and Drew are not captivating enough either. And I've said it on this panel at least 3 times prior during this season. This configuration of women do not mesh well together. It's so disingenuous. And I also agree we have to sit through every one of Candy's business ventures, but we cannot see Kenya's first big venture all the way through. It's called favoritism. And someone at the production company needs to come out and explain this to the fans. Why is it we have to suffer through She by Shein, and we have to look at all the jogger designs that Sheree stole from China? We had to suffer through Portia and her Go Naked hair and her Paper by Portia. But again, we can't see the salon that Kenya did. I do think that's very, very shady. That is not right. And we have to watch everybody with their pop-up businesses, but Kenya doesn't get the same 15 minutes. That is so not cool. I also agree with Kenya. These women need to go back to auditioning for their position, because we need to do compatibility and screen tests. And I do think Truly Original needs to be fired as the Roa production company, because they don't get it and they don't know how to manage and produce Black women. Clearly, season after season, they've been dropping the ball. This is not the first time where we got a crappy season. If you ask me, going from season 13 up to now, it's been a complete epic fail. If you ask me, the ratings have consistently been going down, and their answer is always, let's bring someone back. No, get rid of the production company. Get rid of them, okay? They give these people these cookie cutter edits, okay? Like they were protecting Portia, and on Black Lives Matter. And Portia was fighting every man, woman, and child who she couldn't match wits with on camera. Portia is emotionally unstable. But here we're talking about negotiating this big funds, this big paycheck to bring Portia back. For what? Why does Portia need to come back? Do you get what I'm saying? So I just feel like, again, instead of getting rid of production, they want to blame all the people on the bottom and say it's your fault. You're the reason why the ratings have dropped. No, it starts at the top. It starts at the top. Portia is the granddaughter of a civil rights activist, and you didn't know about the Underground Railroad? I mean, cut it out. You were with R. Kelly. You were locked up in the room, and you want to talk about being an activist and Black Lives Matter. What was you doing with R. Kelly? Like, please, why is Portia coming back? Stop this madness. We have to stop this. But we want to villainize Kenya, a former Miss USA, but we're going to praise the granddaughter of Hosea Williams. And she's been fighting. She fought Cynthia. She fought Jamie. She fought Kenya. She fought Dennis and his mom. Come on. But then we'll get up on this panel and we'll say, Candy's throwing threats out every week. Oh, she's threatening to choke someone, this, that, and the third. But we don't like that behavior. We want to frown at that. But then we want to bring back the person who wants to fight everybody because she doesn't know how to use her words. This is a big problem here. Portia, and this is my last thing. When Kenya said, you know, I should have been big sis and Portia should have been little sis, I was thinking, Kenya, what the hell are you talking about? As a fellow Aquarius, it just made no sense. Portia is manipulative. She is a liar. She's ditzy. Anybody who becomes friends with Portia, she eventually throws them under the bus. She threw Phaedra under the bus. She threw Candy under the bus. She threw Shamia under the bus. At one point, I think even her and Drew had a falling out on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. So whoever comes in close proximity to Portia, your days are numbered. Please believe that. If she doesn't steal your husband, she'll definitely take your image on social media, because just like the crazy Delulu Phaedra fans, whatever Portia says, these people think Portia is golden, okay? There's no reason for Kenya to want to be Portia's big sister. Portia has siblings, and they don't even fool with her like that. So leave Portia where she is, okay? The whole thing about being on reality TV, in order for you to be a part of an ensemble cast and make the show dynamic, is these personalities have to blend together. And the configuration we have now, it doesn't work. When certain people lack authenticity and personality, I agree with Kenya. How can she perform? How can she come to work when there's nothing there?
Thank you, E. Leo, your thoughts?
Wow. I'm still processing what E said. Okay, so I go back to Carlos King with this interview, right? So I don't understand why Carlos is all in the business of the girls of Bravo. Mm-hmm. He really pissing me off with this. Mm-hmm. He really does. I understand that he still want to have a connection with the girls, but build your own platform. He has his own thing going on with own network.
Come on.
Do that.
Come
like
on.
Stay out of Bravo business. Because so I'm processing. So I feel like Carlos got one foot in with Bravo, wanting them to bring him back.
Come on.
At the same time, he's still trying to do his thing with OWN so he can still get his check and cheat. Listen to the words I say, and cheat his own talent with separating the seasons and all this other kind of foolishness that he does.
Holla.
So that we're gonna put that in one pot. Right, one pot.
Mm-hmm. And hold on, Leo, I'm gonna let you say this. Hold on 1 second, Leo. Trent, thank you for the super chat. He said Kenya is corny as heck. She wants to be friends with the popular ATL girls. It's sad. Okay, go ahead and continue because you're dropping the mic. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so then we're gonna put it in the pot of the Kenya interview, where Kenya is also getting her opportunity to slide the people. And to slide the girls, right? So she fed right into the Carlos King BS. And I like Kenya more than I like Kenya early on when she was in a part of her foolishness. I see where Kenya coming from. I really, really do. But she is falling into this also place of being self-serving, in my opinion. Just only in my opinion. She's being self-serving and saying, I don't like how they did me in this, and I don't like how they did me in that. And she's only speaking on how she don't like how she was treated. She has the right to do that. And I think that that's okay. I think that that's okay. But then when she is not offered her contract for season 16, then we do know why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We do know why.
Mm-hmm.
Because she aired too late.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She aired too late. She aired too late about what she felt like, how she wasn't treated for her opening of her business. I can even get with the fact how they put so much time on Candy in this movie. I get that too. I get how she would feel that way. But what did Candy always say? When she had a problem, she took it to the people. She took it to the people. So I feel like Kenya should have done the same thing Candy did. Take it to the people. Take it to production. Take it to Bravo. Take it to NBC. How you didn't like the way you was being treated. To air it on Carlos King. I think that's a bad move on her part, because Carlos King is not the person to air your grievances with the people that you work for. Carlos don't work for them. And I just don't like none of this stuff that Carlos got going on as far as his interviews with the Bravo ladies. I don't like it. I feel as though it's something else here in play. He's trying to get his job back. He's trying to one up them, and all the girls are being used. Nene being used, Kenya being used. He gonna have Portia on there in a second or two. All the girls is being used.
Using
for his own personal agenda.
Use and abuse in a different way than they claiming Bravo's using them. They being used by their own friend, allegedly. So how is he cheating his Shannon? Didn't they sign a contract? But yeah, didn't all the girls at Bravo sign a contract and they're complaining about it? If they didn't agree with the terms, they shouldn't have signed or agreed. Same thing. Isn't that what we say about the girls on Bravo? Absolutely. But see, here's the thing, Carrie, right? He's also agreeing that the dirtiness happened over there at Bravo. So when you got the opportunity to do something different, you're going to do the same or even worse. But you keep keying ha in these girls' face like, yeah, that's not right. And you also saying it's not right. But then you got the opportunity to be the boss and do something different, and you doing something even worse.
But hold on, okay, Diva. So she's asking, how is the talent being cheated? And just like we have said previously, the talent that Carlos is cheating is his folks on the Love and Marriage Huntsville in DC. They signed one contract for one season, but he splits the seasons up and don't pay them their money.
Yeah, he's messy. He know what he's doing. So, Sebastian, thank you for the super chat. Kenya also mentioned how it was disrespectful for Marlo to say what she said about the mother situation when she grew up in the foster care, and I agree. Listen, they all sling mud. They all sling mud.
Exactly.
They all go dirty. They all go low. They all, when the camera is put in their face, they will do.
Not to mothers, Diva. Not to mothers.
Hold on 1 second. They will all do what needs to be done to get that check, right? And so I get it, Sebastian. You saying it's low to go with the mother, it's low to go about the child, but there was some low things, and I think Royer even mentioned it. You snatching up the chair so Ken Fields could darn near fall on the floor. You calling Ken Fields' husband gay.
That wasn't her only. A lot of them were calling him.
No, but hold on though. Low is all I'm saying. And I agree with you. All of them go low. So how do you want to come at me for my low, but you go low too? What's the difference? Who's here at the highest standard? Nobody. So you mad at me for going low and I declass the show and I don't need to be up there. But when you have to go low to put on your performance to get your check, you do what you got to do when you want to do it, when you feel like doing it. So none of them complain about being low when they all go low. Hold on, Sebastian. Dustin, you're up. Dustin, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I want to say, I watched the interview, Carlos King interview today, twice.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of Carlos King in general, because I don't like the way he's taking his TV shows and cutting them in half every season. He's having one half in the spring and one half in the fall.
Come on, you better talk about it.
So if he's doing that, I don't support it. I don't support. I guess I like his shows, but I don't support the OWN network. I like Bravo more than I like OWN, just for the fact because Bravo gets to the point, but he don't want to get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
So if he wants to get back to Bravo, then he better get his own network to stuck together and start doing the things that he should be doing a long time ago, in my opinion. So, to Carlos King, you better start doing a better job, or you're gonna start losing viewers, because I don't know how much more I can take it.
Thank you, Dustin. Here's the thing. I don't care who Carlos interviews. I don't want anybody to misunderstand. Listen, do your channel, interview who you got to interview. But it seems like the best I could say it is like Leo said, he got one foot in the door, one foot out. And he's not doing a straight interview. 1 second, Dustin. The interview is a lot of him interjecting and letting us know that it was, even though he claimed, I'm not wanting it to fail, but I stopped watching it halfway this season. I'm not wanting it to fail. I told them if they need me, they can call me. If you got the secret sauce, those shows over there at OWN should be number one. They should be busting out the scenes. They do not get the views like that. So my thing is, put all of this extra energy into your shows. Keep telling people to go over there and watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, Love and Marriage Detroit, Bell Collective. Keep directing the people to your shows. And where's the secret sauce on your shows? Because all of his shows, they're just as messy as any one of the housewife shows. Messy. Go ahead, Dustin. Then I need to move on to, in my opinion.
He don't have any secret sauce. That's the whole problem, Diva. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I hear you.
If his shows was anything that he thinks they are, if they were on number one, he wouldn't be doing any of these networks, and he wouldn't be doing any of these interviews with Bravo. Just worry about your own network and worry about your own shows. That's all I'm going to say, David.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm coming to you, my opinion. Give me 1 minute. Miss True Kelly, OWN in general doesn't have large viewership. I don't even have the channel because OWN for cable, at least I do know for my cable company, it's extra money to have that channel because that's the way they set it up. So most packages that they give you, it doesn't include the OWN channel. You can only get it included if you pay the higher package, right? But my thing is, if you got, give me a minute, Justin. If you got the secret sauce, those shows would be so good that you would have people be calling their cable company talking about add OWN to my thing because I got to see these shows. In my opinion, you're up.
Okay. So I've been listening to y'all, and it's been rough. Okay. So I guess I'm finna throw the train all the way off the track. And bear with me for a minute, okay? I'm going to preface this by saying, when these people do their interviews, we have to make it okay to hear their truth. Because we get an edited version of a show, and we think we know what's going on. But when these people are speaking out, they're speaking their truth. So let's give them the grace to say what they feel in their heart is their truth. Yes, all of them lie. Yes, all of them say this. Yes, all of them backbite. But we have to give them the space and the grace to say their truth. Because we're watching an edited show. I feel like Bravo is the enemy in all this. I really do. Because Bravo does this. He plays these girls. They play these girls up against each other. They sit here and let stuff be said about black women of us being aggressive, and all we do is fuss and fight. It's on every black show. But on the white shows, when they fighting and stuff, you don't hear the word aggressive. You don't hear the word of, oh, they don't have any taste or none of that. Like we see these white people fighting and they make it okay for them. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? But it's only when it's the black shows on Bravo that we're labeled aggressive. We're labeled all these weird names and stuff. Like, we got to take our power back as females and women of color. Like, we are so marginalized in this world that if we don't stand up for our own people, then who else will? Now, did Kenya say some stuff that was slightly, a little abrasive? Yes, she did. But I think she was speaking her truth. And in this space of let's let the girls say their truth, at least she's speaking out. It may be a day late and a dollar short for everybody else, but she's speaking her truth. And she's still on the show, per se, right now. Because she ain't had no contract denial yet. She ain't said she quit. So she's still on the show. Now, we was fussing at first that it was women that was off the show talking about stuff that was happening on the show. Now that it's a woman on the show talking about it, we still saying, oh, well, she must be finna leave. She must be finna quit. They must finna fire her. Like, we don't know this stuff for real. We don't know what it is for real. But we know that this woman felt comfortable speaking her truth. Candy has a speak on it where she speaks her truth every Sunday night. Ooh. And we don't get up here and we don't talk about, oh, well, she said this about this person and she said this about, all of them say it. Does Courtney need to be on the show? No. Does Sanya need to be on the show? No. I agree with her. They're bringing down the show. Marlo shouldn't be on the show. I agree with her 110%. Marlo was already given enough being a friend of. We can get her back to being a friend of.
In my opinion, I'm going to let you finish, but you just said the sisters need to stand together, but aren't sisters saying sisters shouldn't be on the show? What we gonna do? We gonna stand together? Are we only gonna stand together when we like the person, or when we don't, we'll say this one shouldn't be on the show, that one shouldn't be on the show?
I didn't say she shouldn't be on the show. I said she shouldn't hold a peach. Okay. She shouldn't. I feel like Marlo was given enough as a friend of. It was not abrasive. It was Marlo, but it wasn't abrasive. She's been good as Snake Low on this show since she got this speech. Is that really what you want somebody to label us? Because that's what they look at these shows and label us. They look at these shows and think we all the same. Whether we like it or not, we get labeled by the people that's on these shows. And I'm not none of these people. And I would like not to be labeled none of these people. But when we say it's okay to show these kind of people on the show, then we're saying, oh, okay, we agree with these people.
So Portia should come back?
I didn't say Portia should come back. I just said no Portia slander.
I'm just asking, should Portia come back?
No, I think Portia should stay where she is. She's doing so much better without this show. Because the show ain't gonna do nothing but bring her down.
Bring her down? She just
bring her down.
She had a whole show where she fought a mother-in-law.
There wasn't no, but here's the thing. Okay, if we talking about Dennis Mama threw a lot of shade too. Okay, she was looking for some TV time too. So here is, I'm an equal opportunities person. Okay, if you come in my face with the drama, then you expecting it back. Okay, it just is what it is. I don't know if you ever been in the South before.
We beating
them yeah, the mama can get it, the grandma can get it. If great grandma alive and she get in my face, she can get it too.
See, okay, so I hear you, right? And listen, tell your truth in the interview, but then you gotta expect the thing is, when you on a public platform, yeah, you can tell your truth in the interview. Do you? I'm not mad at nothing she said. I'm just saying I don't think it was smart. So just like they can say what they want to say, you got to be prepared for the public to give their opinion and say what they want to say. So I don't understand how, and this is not towards you in particular, in my opinion, this is in general. We want to say Black people don't support Black people, but in any given minute, they'll always say, well, Black person shouldn't have had a job, should have got half a peach, no peach, shouldn't be on the show. That's your Black sister you're talking about, though. Your Black sister got airtime, but you didn't. I got my Black sisters who got a raise and I didn't. I ain't never go nowhere and say, well, they got a raise and I didn't. I just kept it pushing. I'm happy y'all got your raise. I'm happy.
I think you're missing the point. I really do. I think you're missing the point.
Well, we missing each other. We missing each other.
Here's the thing. Everybody had a storyline. The story that they was wanting to tell. Okay. And as insignificant as everybody think Kenya Moore is or her hair salon is, that was her storyline. And we got one little clip of when she was first buying it. Okay. We didn't get to see how she was moving and fixing it up, who she was hiring, her event that was there to unveil it, where her dad was there to support her. Because here's the thing, this has been a running thing for a while. That her auntie is not in her life, her brand is not in her life anymore. Her dad is not in her life anymore. And she just said her dad was there at that event. And had they shown it, you would have saw that. But we can sit here and talk about who kissed the girl, or we could sit here and talk about who shot up Blaze and Old Lady Gang for 4 and 5 episodes, or we could see the girls fighting and stuff all the time, but we can't show something positive as far as somebody having a business opening up. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they wasted a whole lot of time on BS that we didn't give a damn about. We was talking about it on the show, like it was bringing the show value down. But that's what I'm saying. We saw all that. Okay, we kept seeing Marlo get in front of people's faces and all that, yelling in their face, making stuff that's irrelevant.
Okay, so I gotta move to the Don because we've been on this subject for a while, but that's not what I heard you initially say. So, okay, that I don't disagree with, but that has nothing to do with the actual individual people that are on the show. That's production. And like we said, with a contract, you signed the contract.
And that's why I said Bravo is the enemy.
Yeah, well, Bravo is not just the enemy, right? Because here's the thing. If I go to a job and I sign up for the foolery, then how am I going to be mad that the foolery and the buffoonery is being shown? Like I do have a role in the situation. If I do one season and I see I don't like the way they're cutting it up and chopping it up and showing my character and that ain't me, then y'all good. I'm good. Thank you for the opportunity, but that's not how I want myself to be portrayed. Deuces. And let me say this too. There is no other Black female in this world that will ever represent me no matter what they do. Because when I show up, I represent me. Now, the way you treat me is going to be the way you treat me no matter what goes down. But I'm not going to lose no sleep thinking some Black girl I saw on the news acting crazy or doing whatever represents me. See, the thing is with this reality TV, they like the check that they are getting. And that's why they stay and endure the shenanigans. But the minute it doesn't go in their favor or it goes too far to the left, that's when they get up and they want to say the. Now let me tell you what Eva said in the interview. When she said, when now she's doing the Queen's Man or whatever that show is, right? She said, I'll never go back to Roa. I'm good. She said, because I do not like the made up stories, the this, that, and the other. I don't like how it tears down friendships, so forth and so on. So I'm good. I'm never going back. Now that's a chick right there that said, you know what? I don't care what they roll over my way. I got other talent. She killing it over there on that show. And she said, I'm not coming back. But the point of the matter is everybody's good till they're not. And they're good accepting the check. But now that, because all of this stuff been going on. Kenya Moore said they never supported her. This came out of her mouth. I listened to the interview twice. She said they never supported her. They never had her back. They always made her look like the villain. So it took you 11 to 12 seasons to figure that out? No, the check was good. And you loved the check. And now that you're seeing that they're pulling a Nene on you and kind of phasing you out and not showing your stuff, now all of a sudden you've never been protected, but they want to protect somebody like Marlo, so forth and so on. See, here's the thing with me. I really don't care and lean towards, even though it may seem like to y'all, right? I don't really lean towards one way or the other. I lean towards the facts. And the facts is they are all consistent with the same message. When it's no longer leaning in their favor, then we hear about all the things that was going on. Everybody will always have a mic in this day and age because on Instagram, I don't care who you are, you can go live. On Facebook, I don't care who you are, you can go live. So, no, you don't need for somebody to interview you to say anything you want to say. You can just take your phone, press live, and boom, there's your platform. So it's like when you wait to say, oh, now this, that, and that. And so this one season, they didn't show your particular opening. Okay, I'm sure every single housewife can say there's a season that they filmed something and it was not shown. Every single housewife. So this one season, but here's the thing though, Kenya, just like you knew that all of these shows, they wait for a wedding, they wait for a baby, just like you played them and didn't give them your wedding for any reason, whatever given reason it was, and you had that right, they got the right to cut out your opening to your Kenya Moore hair care spa. And it is what it is. They had to take the hit by not filming your wedding. So now you're going to take the hit for them not showing your Kenya Moore hair care spa. That's it. Dadon, your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody.
Hey.
I am a little perplexed about this whole situation. First, I'm going to start by this. I was never a huge Kenya fan, but after this interview, I've been opened a little bit to more of her personality. Some of the things in this interview I wholeheartedly agree with. I'm going to start by her saying, her scenes being cut out. Just because I'm your friend doesn't mean that I'm going to kiss your ass. And if you're wrong, if a situation is wrong to me, and I see you getting everything that you want all the time, without fail, without fault, without discrimination of any kind, I can't open my mouth and say that I'm not being treated fairly or this happened to me or, no, we're friends. Yes. But that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion about a situation that happened to me. I'm not kissing your butt just because we're friends. I do think that her store opening should have been on this show. She, from her saying that she was going to have a hair care line, the inception happened on the show. So let's see it through on the show. Even if they gave her 2 minutes, let's see it through on the show. This show has gotten so low that we have the repetitive storylines week after week after week. And it is absurd. It is boring as hell. Nobody wants to see that. I don't care if you black, white, yellow, or green. If you need to be off the show, you need to be off the show. So Marlo, someone said since season 13, the show has been bad. That was the season Marlo became a full-time peach holder. She hasn't had a storyline on this show, but you can attack everybody on this show. You can attack them with no cause, but you don't talk about your own stuff. This is what I miss about the old seasons. There was a clip that came up via Instagram earlier when Nene and Greg were going through, and she came and Greg had gave that interview, and she came and sat at the bar stool, and they had that conversation. That's real. That's stuff that we want to see. We don't want to see no BS, no made up foundations that just happen overnight, and then you get it on the show. I don't want to see that. Where's your life? Where's your life? You have your manager and your friend in your house every day, but you don't have your family. So your manager and your friend are your storyline because the boys in school. That's not what. How is that good? Nobody wants to see that, and I just think that at this particular point, and if I'm vested in my job for years, and I'm not being treated equitably, I'm not leaving my job. I'm going to put my foot down and say, you're going to treat me fair, or you're going to give me a severance package and let me go. I'm not going to leave. I got my 401k. I got all my vacation time and sick time built up. I'm not leaving here unless you put me out, but I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm not going to bite my tongue just because you paying me a check. That's on any job. So if I got to sit there and be mum's the word because you paying me a check, that's called slavery. That's indentured servant.
They did slavery for 11 years straight.
Yeah, but that's indentured servant. You're not gonna pay me, and I have to bite my tongue.
They did it
for massa.
They did it for massa.
Yeah, but this 2023.
Yeah, and it's so in 2022, what was the difference? In 2021, what was the difference? In 2020, what was the difference? In 2019,
but you know what's gonna happen? But you know what's gonna happen? The people that are not talking right now, it's gonna come around to your front door.
Well, I said that earlier. I said that earlier. That when you quiet, it comes to your front door. But here's the thing. Wait, hold on one second. Ali, thank you for the super chat. Kenan realized the double standard when they cover up Marlo's behavior. She realized it before that, but nobody addresses it unless it impacts them. They showed hers, Nene, Kim Z's, Phaedra, etc. bad behavior. They even cut Marlo chasing her around a restaurant. Listen, I guess you know what, because I guess we gonna see, we all gonna see what we want to see in this situation, right? And everybody's saying production companies has changed over the years. Listen, there's been bad behavior from the onset up until this point. Has the bad behavior circulated and been a little different? Absolutely, it has, right? But bad behavior, I mean, Rhea reminded us, she literally Kenya Moore tried to pull the chair from Kim, what's her name?
Fields.
Tried to pull the chair from underneath her. So they all have acted gutter low.
And it wasn't even just to pull it into chair. She harassed Kim Fields.
But
that entire season.
Yes. Kenya did pull the chair. Kenya did pull the chair from underneath Kim Fields, yes. But are we forgetting that Kenya lunged and wanted to attack Mallory? Are we forgetting that? Candy is not this lamb. We got to get real people.
Who just mentioned Candy? I don't know what you're saying. Who just mentioned Candy?
We're talking about
This is nothing about Kim. We're not talking about Kim then.
Yes.
Okay, so you know what? Here's the thing. Let me just say this. Here's the thing. I'm going to because Felicia didn't get to talk, Emmanuel didn't get to talk. I'm going to have to let them speak. I think I just want to say one more I will let you say one more thing. Give me a minute, though. The thing is over here. I think because generically, where's the troll? Who is it? So I could get them out.
I'm about to get it.
Huh? You about to get it. Thank you. So here's
I got him. I reported Michael somebody.
Thank you. So let me say, here's the thing. I think over here, all people ever hear and think what I'm saying is, oh, I love Candy. She don't do no wrong. This, that, and the other. Not the case. What I am clearly saying is, right, that at the end, is it this Michael somebody?
Yes, Michael Bean somebody. Yeah, okay, I already reported them though.
Okay, thank you.
He out.
Okay, thank you. So I think the problem that I'm saying with this situation is they all are on the same level. It's just different degrees. They all were okay with the shenanigans until it hits dumb. They all have no problem saying this one don't deserve a peach, this one should be fired, that, so forth and so on. All I'm saying is in life, you reap what you sow. If I want to sit there and say, why they show this one? Why they show that one? This one doesn't deserve a peach. That one doesn't deserve a peach. Do you think that negativity is not going to come back to you? Like, to me, you got to be the craziest person on earth to think when you say something is justified because that's just your words and you just speaking your truth. But then you get mad when that same behavior comes and slaps you in the face. You mad at the way Bravo is doing you dirty, but then you don't have no problem because it's your truth saying that somebody else is this, that, and the other. It's the same smoke and dirt you throwing on your coworker, and then because Bravo throws that smoke and dirt on you, you're like, oh my God, they're wrong. No, come on, bull. You threw out the same smoke. You can't plant an apple tree and inspect oranges, then you a darn fool. You plant negativity, you spit negativity, and negativity is going to come knock on your door. You're going to reap what you sow. It's a boomerang. So
Absolutely.
I'm not going to sit up personally. There are things that I will say behind the scenes, but now personally, you ain't going to get no camera in my face and have me talk about my coworkers. I ain't doing it. You ain't going to get no camera in my face and going to have me talk about my own sister. I don't care how I feel, especially knowing it's a national platform. He would have said, how do you feel about Marlo? I'd be like, she doing the most this season. Whatever.
But isn't that what Wendy Williams did too? Have people come on her show and talk about their
Hold on,
co-stars?
Sebastian. Hold on, Sebastian, because I'm talking about Diva right now, and I'm being dead serious. I'm not going to have no camera in my face, and you going to get me to cut down my own brother or sister. I ain't doing it. And I'm not going to do it with another one of my brothers. See, that's what we do. I call it black on black crime. I talk to my friends all the time. I call it black on black crime. We love to tear each other down. That's why we ain't got to worry about them, because they will get us to pit against each other every single time. And
they don't need us, Diva. And they don't need us to get us.
That part. So every single time one of them get in the mirror, they think it's a funny kiki ha ha. This one don't deserve the peach. That one should be fired. This one declares the show. Let me tell you something about a star, a true star. You could put the true star in the midst of the jungle and they still going to shine. And that thing is going to be uplifted because of that true star. You could be given the Titanic if you a true star and it ain't going to sink. So my thing is, we can sit there and blame it on production. We can blame it on this. We can blame it on that. We can blame it on whatever. One job I told them, you can give me 2 people and I'm going to run this thing even though I need 4. Because that's who I am. But hold on, let me get this super chat. I'm going to let you finish it, Don, and I'm going to go to Felicia. My point is that the viewers saw the bad behavior. They are hiding Marlo, and that is the issue. Prior to Marlo, what housewife got a favorable edit? Not one. We all saw their dirt. We don't know what we saw and didn't see. We absolutely do not. Thank you for the super chat. We don't know what we saw and didn't see. But plenty of them has said you only saw the part of the argument where I said XYZ, and you didn't see the before where they said something to me that made me say XYZ. They all have said that. So my thing is, don't nobody get a favorable nothing. It all depends on what the editors in charge at that moment feel how they want to cut it up, chop it up to make it go whatever way. What's the name from Love and Marriage DC said this year, I see why they waited so long, because she said they wanted to make her the villain. They cut it up and chop it up however they feel. Did Don finish your thought? Let me just get this super chat, then I'm going to let you finish your thought. Lakeisha, Kenley is trying to rewrite history. She was disrespectfully flirting with Apollo.
Come on now.
Lakeisha, but you know what? We connected, but I you know, whatever. We can go on national TV, insult your job and co-workers, but keep said job. They phased her out like Nene. She's bitter. Okay. Thank you, Lakeisha, for connecting with me. The train, you know, it's off the track, but you feel what I'm trying to say. We see each other. The Don, go ahead and finish your thought.
If the standard is you not wanting to put anyone off of the show, and I'm not even a fan of her, but Phaedra should still be on the show because she's not the only one that possibly committed a crime that's still active on this show.
Oh, that part.
Right. Okay, let me finish. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, this is a lot. You all know I'm not invested in these shows, but I'm listening. And it seems to be a fluidity in the conversation. It seems to go from what is real and what is not real. So I gather that when people who have been invested and they're watching these shows, they have defined for themselves what is the truth and what is not.
Right.
I would say of all the folks I've heard tonight, I stand the strongest in my opinion. And the reason why that is because, as with reality TV, the film industry, anything that is put out there, America is number one. And they filter out this stuff all over the world. And so no matter where you are, you get to watch or tune in and see. Mm-hmm. So perhaps that may be an under message to everyone. So I did watch that interview with Kenya. I was very interested to hearing why is she doing this interview at this time. Mm-hmm. So I always look at it from a point of marketing and definitely the underbelly of economics. So it seems to me she's going to make a move, or she's in some kind of negotiations and she's trying to pivot where she is. And all of this other stuff, I don't think really matters to her. It's about what, her money is going to look like. That's my opinion.
I appreciate you. And like everybody has their opinions, has the right to them. And again, from a dad, you never let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. And again, Kathy Hilton, I praise you, girlfriend. Silence is golden. Emmanuel, your thoughts?
Yes, I want to start off by saying, some people were accusing Phaedra of certain stuff at the beginning of the live. Phaedra has denounced any allegations, and she has not been convicted of any. So let's just put that out there. Mm-hmm. Let me start by saying something nice about the interview. I enjoyed the first part, the one from last week. I really appreciated her being open about her childhood, but this second part was horrible. First of all, Courtney might have a medical condition or a disability that makes her face be different. And Kenya thought it would be cute to sit up there and mimic her and make faces. And for her to sit there and say Courtney has no home, her husband left her, she was homeless, when none of your men have ever claimed you. No man wants to be around you. And weren't you the one living in a trashy hotel when Nene said, oh, this is the ghetto and all that? Let's not forget that. Also, a little while ago, Courtney did an interview where she said that y'all would be surprised on how mean and nasty Kenya speaks to the employees. And what did she say on today's interview? She said, I cussed them all out. I said they were ruining the show. I said they were horrible. And as far as Marlo, it's sad to see how much hate is in this woman's heart towards Marlo. I don't know what Marlo did to her. The way she speaks on Marlo, you would think Marlo stole her man or she unalived her puppy. I don't understand what that's about. When she talks about her, like the hate, you can see it through her eyes. It's nasty and she needs to get over it. But you see, it's crazy because in season 13, when Kenya spent the entire season trying to prove that Bolo and Portia smashed, Kenya was buddy-buddy with Marlo to try and take Portia down. But then when Portia left the show and Marlo gets her peach, all of a sudden she turns against her. And I know Kenya's delusional, she's mean, but I didn't know she suffered from amnesia too. So now all of a sudden, Portia and you were supposed to be big sis and little sis. Does she realize how crazy she sounds? They called each other every name except the child of God. Portia didn't even invite her to her wedding. So what is up with this revisionist history? But she's saying this because she thinks that Portia's going to come back next season. And Kenya's still there. She wants him to tag team Marlo. But Kenya's most likely going away. And I don't know who the hell she thinks she is for saying these people need to audition. Sonya shouldn't be here. Drew shouldn't be here. What does she know about auditioning? She's played C characters and straight to DVD movies. That's all the roles she's got in. And I want to say something. As much as we might hate Giselle, those Potomac women have never said that any of them needs to be off the show. They've been shady, but they've never said, get that one out. It's never happened. And, I do think it's messed up that she opened up a salon and that they filmed and they didn't show it. I do feel bad for that. But no, you know what? Actually, I don't feel bad because Kenya, now that I remember, she sat in the Wendy Williams show and Wendy asked her, why are they cutting Nene's scenes? And Kenya sat there with a smirk on her face and she said verbatim, when you think you all that, the network will put you in your place.
Woo,
Well,
woo,
one thing
woo.
about those tables is that they turn. And now it's your
Oh,
turn, Miss
Woo,
Toxic
woo,
Trick.
oh,
And
woo, woo,
for
woo.
everybody else that's been saying she's been here for so long, she deserves better. Let me tell you something. Bravo is a corporation and Kenya is an employee. And when you're an
yep.
employee, you're subject to
You better speak
termination
on it.
at any time.
That's it. Georgia is a right to work state.
And
No,
you
she
told
said
a lie. You told a lie, Manuel, because the Potomac girl tried to get rid of Monique and Wendy.
Hold on 1 second, guys. Lakeisha, thank you so much for the super chat. Right, Emmanuel, we saw how disrespectfully Kenya talked to her intern this season. She's a mean girl. You know what? Like I said, no one, not a one of them, including Candy, because y'all swear I don't say nothing about Candy, not a one of them is so upstanding that you know what? Oh my God, they're above it all, right? I feel that every last one of them are self-serving, and it will come back to you. It will come back to you. And to me, good business, good marketing, sometimes you cannot tell anybody, you know, what you're about to do. And you never know. You never know. I went to so many business, corporate meetings, motivational speeches, and they said in today's day and age, you don't just work for McDonald's. When you go down and work out the paperwork, McDonald's, and I don't know for sure, I'm just trying to give you an example. McDonald's is connected to Burger King, and then they're connected to this one, and then they're connected to this food company, and then they're connected to that one. So then you play games and you act the fool with McDonald's. Now you're looking for a job and you find out that McDonald's was connected to 13 other companies, all they're blown right out the way. You can't work for none of them. You be a fool, and I don't care how you feel. And I'm not saying, oh, don't speak up, don't this, don't that. No, you know, you got to know how to move. And if you got any common sense, a brain in your head, you got to know how to move, and you don't sit there on a platform that is being filmed. Listen, Nene said it best when she said, did you ever see me slap anybody on film? She ain't say, I ain't slap nobody. She said, did you ever see me slap anybody on film? Come on, move in silence.
She hasn't, but she tried to spit on somebody.
Yeah, but my point is, there's a lot of her sayings, Sebastian, that she didn't follow herself. But all I'm saying is, a smart saying she said, did you ever see me slap anybody on film? Did you ever hear me dog anybody out on film? I'm going to do what I need to do. Do not burn your bridges, because you don't know where you're going to have to cross back over. And you don't know who's connected to who. Behind the scenes, this is just straight real talk. Behind the scenes, all of these people that are up there, they know each other. And they are going to say, you know what? And you're never going to know. You're never going to be able to prove it. They all go golfing together. They're all part of the same country clubs that we can never step a foot in or pay a membership for. They all at tea parties together. Oh, who did what to you? Oh, yeah, she tried to get a job over there on that show with the so-and-so. Okay, we hired the other actress. You got to know how to play the game. But at the very least, just my opinion, you ain't going to catch me dogging out my own sister, whether I like her or not. There's plenty of people that, they played me out. Still ain't never dogged them out. Because you know what? I'm a strong believer too. You're always going to reap what you sow. And I ain't got it. You know, the Bible said, let vengeance be mine. And one thing I learned in the long run, I ain't got to lift a finger. My hands could stay clean. You're going to get what's coming to
what
you.
you got coming to you.
I agree.
Even in this YouTube game, you wouldn't believe how people are so dirty, shysty. They come for you. They do underhanded, underlining stuff. I could have probably did 13 videos already on the people that have done stuff to me. Mum's the word. You know why? Because this I know for sure. Y'all digging the hole for yourself. You never heard that saying? You said, you be careful who you digging a ditch for, because you may fall in it yourself.
That's what Phaedra said. Why you digging one for
yourself.
me, dig two for you. For
Yeah, that part. Portia left on her own terms in silence. Now they all want her back and willing to pay. She's not dumb as y'all think. Yeah,
she's brightened up, but we know that's still questionable because she calls herself a journalist. So I don't know where she learned journalism, but okay.
I agree with you. And listen, even in that interview, thank you for the super chat. Did I say it, Jazzy? Jazzy, girl, thank you for the super chat. And I will say this: you calling her little sis, but then when Carlos King says something nice about Portia, you said, "Oh, she ain't really that authentic," and then you brought back up Bolo. Come on now. I listened to the interview. He was like, you calling her little sis, but meantime, you want to let everybody know that little sis slept with Bolo. And she a whole married woman now with her kid. All I can say is
so adorable, by the way. Pilar is so adorable, by the way.
They all the kids. I love the kids. Okay, you know what, guys? I'm gonna need to move on. I'm gonna have to take off probably this last story. So, do y'all want me to do Judge Hatchett or this pissed off fiance?
The fiance.
Listen, I think I'm gonna do Judge Hatchett and push the fiance off till tomorrow, because this Judge Hatchett story is very it's important in the sense that at 72. That just tells you that it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have. She was subjected to SA in front of others. A mess. Bolo might have. Who told me that? Somebody said Bolo debunked it, but Big Sis brought it back up and act like it was really true.
Bolo could have been bought too.
The words that are coming out my mouth. This ain't Diva making this stuff up. I'm telling you what she said in the interview. Carlos King gave Portia a little accolades, and Big Sis said, "No, hold on, the Bolo situation," as if Portia lied in the Bolo situation and really slept with the man.
Well, she did lie. She did sleep with him.
My point
is really, I don't really care if Portia slept with him, didn't sleep with him, what went on with Bolo. I really don't care about that. My point is, she didn't even have to bring that up when you saying that you and Portia are in a good space and you should have been Big Sis and not Nene. But then my sister ain't telling none of my secrets.
Diva, that's not how she said it though. The thing happened here. Kenya was like, yeah, Portia's kind of authentic, I don't think someone who's inauthentic would say 265 days to make themselves look so stupid. And then Carlos was like, yeah, she's very authentic. And she's like, wait, hold on a minute. The Bolo situation. That's how it happened.
She brought it up. If
happens.
This is your girl, if this is your sis, this your little sis, why are you coming out here and airing her out? That's just like me getting up here and airing out Diva for some personal stuff that we've talked about.
That part.
Why am I going to do that when we are talking about me in my interview? This is supposed to be about me, not about Portia.
It's supposed to be a little shady interview, okay? It's supposed to be shady as well. So y'all were not dragging
people are shady.
You know what, Maria? Let's move on because nobody is going to even. They're going to see what they want to see in this because even Cool Cat is saying, "Wow, so we are. What is that? Act like the Bolo comment was not about Marlo and Portia. Diva, come on now, really? You've been off a lot.
I thought y'all deleted him out the chat because he's been really disrespectful.
Oh, he has. Okay, let me delete him because I don't even know what he's talking about. Okay, so now we're banned. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what's going on with Judge Hatchett?
Okay, let's move on to Judge Hatchett. At 72, she was at an event and somebody SA'd her. I'm going to play part of her situation. We're going to talk about it. This is after the man got caught. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, so hold on. Let me tell you the story. Let me show you who this man is. And the man's been problematic for a while. Let me just get to his story.
And let me just say this real quick. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has feelings. Everybody has thoughts. It's not okay to disrespect anybody in the chat, calling people delusional and insane and crazy. These are people's feelings and thoughts. Let's just remember to respect everybody across the board. We just here for fun and entertainment. You know, disrespect is not needed.
Thank you, Roy.
Thank you for saying that earlier.
Thank you
for saying that, Diva.
Yes. Yep. I appreciate you, Roy. I'm glad you're back. Hey, Roy. Anyway,
we can. Roy looking cute with his hair too. Roy
but you know, Roy
went through a renaissance.
One thing I can say about Roy and I, and we speak literally every single day. We connect even when we don't connect, and we do not agree on a lot of things.
A lot of stuff.
When I tell you, we legit connect even when we freaking don't connect, and that's why I freaking love him. Like legit. Because he'll be like, Diva, you wrong. And I'm like, you wrong. We gets it in. But we know how to connect and not connect and still be good. Georgia sheriff charged with sexual battery after accusations he groped Judge Hatchett. So because of time purposes, I want to say this is the one I want to play, and then I'm going to play some of her words, and we're going to go.
Officially charged with sexual battery. Bleckley County Sheriff Chris Cootie is accused of groping the prominent Judge Hatchett at a sheriff's convention earlier this year. Well, now a man who witnessed the incident is speaking exclusively to Channel 2 Cobb County Bureau Chief Michelle Newell. Michelle is live in Marietta outside the courthouse. Michelle.
Yeah, Brown told me not only did he witness this, but he says he had to physically intervene.
I was angry, and my first reaction was to do a little more than just take his hand off of her.
Former DeKalb County Sheriff Thomas Brown sat down with us to talk about the day he says Bleckley County Sheriff Chris Cootie groped the prominent judge Glenda Hatchett.
She was there as my guest. I was upset. I was mad. He was obviously intoxicated.
The alleged incident happened at a sheriff's conference in Cobb County earlier this year. Brown says he was introducing Judge Hatchett to the sheriffs at the Renaissance Atlanta Waverly Bar.
I hope it comes back on. I don't know why it froze. Let me see if I could. All right. Let me. Oh, okay. Let's see. Is it going to play again? All right. It froze, but pretty much, unfortunately, she was at an event. The man said something to her, the sheriff, not just the man. He said something to her. Then he pointed at her chest, and then he grabbed her left boob. He ended up resigning. I'm so mad. I don't know why it stopped and it won't play.
Hatchet to the sheriffs at the Renaissance Atlanta Waverly Bar.
It keeps getting stuck there. All right, it won't continue to play, guys. I don't know why it's doing that. But let me stop and let me see if I could play just a little bit of her words when she spoke on it. Let me see which one is hers. Okay. Let's see if I can play her words a little bit so we can hear her speak on it. Give me a minute. Okay, here we go, guys.
Charged in Cobb County with sexual battery, a misdemeanor. As we told you in January, Sheriff Cootie is accused of groping Atlanta TV judge Glenda Hatchett at the sheriff's convention.
Our station in Atlanta talked to a former sheriff who says he witnessed it all. Talisha Moore also went to Bleckley County to obtain more details in tonight's top story.
Behind me is the Bleckley County Sheriff's Office, where Chris Cootie, the department sheriff, is still working after officially being charged with sexual battery. Cootie is accused of groping TV judge Glenda Hatchett. And former DeKalb County Sheriff Thomas Brown told our sister station he witnessed it all.
She's thinking He is a sheriff. What do I do?
Brown says in January, he, Hatchett, and 2 other women were talking in a bar at a hotel where the state sheriff's convention was happening. He says Hatchett asked Cootie where he was from, to which Brown says he replied, the heart of Georgia.
He wanted to emphasize the heart of Georgia, and he did that by placing his left hand on her left breast.
Brown says he then stepped in.
I reached over, grabbed his hand, took it off of her, and basically said, what are you doing?
Brown says he escorted Hatchett away and says he's speaking publicly because no one is above the law.
He is the chief law enforcement officer of his county. The head of a law enforcement agency sets the tone for the culture of their agency. Law enforcement officers do not put up with law enforcement officers who do the wrong thing.
I also reached out to Judge Glenda Hatchett, who declined to comment. In Bleckley County, Kalisha Moore, 13 WMAZ News.
All right, thanks, Kalisha. Back in January, the sheriff released a statement saying he, quotes, takes these charges very seriously and looks forward to personally expressing his regrets for any offense. We went to the Bleckley County Sheriff's Office today. As you saw, Kalisha was there to try and speak to Cootie. He wasn't able to reach him, and he did not return our calls.
Now, we normally do not name the victims of sexual assault. Judge Hatchett told our Atlanta station that she wants to speak publicly to bring attention to the issue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, isn't that horrible? So give me 1 second. I just have one more thing I need to show y'all, and then we'll be able to chat about it. Let me just see, make sure I find it. Okay, here it is. Not gonna play her whole thing because it's really, really long, but she's very passionate, very hurt about this. So let's hear from Judge Hatchett. And I don't know how much it's gonna play.
Simmons and all the people here who have really stood in the gap. TK, we have these people, Gerald, they just represent a few of the people who have really been on the battlefield. And as I said, people has really been the person who has been leading this. I want to talk to you about what this has meant to me. And I'm grateful that you're all here so that I can just have this opportunity collectively. Because I hope you understand that every time I talk about this, I am in fact having to relive what happened to me. I was at a reception. I'm going to be very candid with you. I'm going to be fairly brief. I'm going to be very candid about what happened so that there's no misunderstanding about what went on. I was the guest of then retired Sheriff Thomas Brown at a reception for the Georgia Sheriff's Association. I was greeted with I was welcomed. People were just happy to see me. People wanted to take pictures. I felt very comfortable. And so for this to happen was just like, my goodness. And I was standing at a table, and the defendant, who I will continue to call the defendant, came up uninvited, and I was introduced to him as Judge Hatchett. To be cordial, I'll make this very quick. My family is from Troup County, Georgia. I said that, but I didn't know where Bleckley County was. He poked me just momentarily in the chest. It's right in the heart of Georgia. But then he grabbed my breast. He grabbed my left breast. He squeezed it. He then started rubbing on my breast until Thomas Brown intervened. Literally had to take his hand off of me and push him off of me. I am a very strong woman. I pride myself on being strong. And I really thought I was fine. I'm just going to tell you exactly what happened. I'm fine. This happened Tuesday night. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I pressed charges the next morning. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I even went to a dinner that Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I could not get out of bed. And I want to be candid about this. I'm being very, because people who know me, my life is very public, but my life is very private. I bet you $1,000, very few of you could say anything about my personal life, and that is by design. Even before I went on television, I am very private, almost introverted in my personal life. And so here it is, I am sobbing, literally sobbing. I could not stop crying. I could not get out of bed that Thursday morning. My assistant, Naima Rashad, has been with me for some 12 years or so at that time, was like, she'd never seen me like that. I rarely cry. Very few people have ever seen me cry. And I could not even get up to go and get something to eat. That's how, what horrible shape I was. I'm be very candid that I did go into therapy that evening at 6 o'clock with Dr. Susan May. And I say that because there's sometimes such stigma about therapy. I needed help. My life had been changed. And as I said to the judge in the court this morning, that I never expected that I would be so deeply affected by this. I could barely get through my impact statement. See, my eyes are still puffy. I cried and cried and cried in court. And thankfully, I've at least gotten that out so that I hopefully won't break down today, and I might. But what I said is that there is a scar that he left. And what I really resent is that someone could have that kind of power over me. That somebody could make me in that moment feel helpless. I have never felt so helpless in my entire life. And I was angry, frankly. I was angry that I didn't slap him. I didn't kick him. But now I understand victims. I was absolutely floored. And so I stand here today, as they have said, that I've been on the other side of this. I've never been the victim. I have been the advocate. I have been supporting people. I've been trying to make sure that people's rights were protected. And here I am being a victim. And so it would have been easy for me to just, go home and say, okay, well, it's an unfortunate situation. I had to file charges. There had to be accountability because the message needs to be clear that you cannot do this. How dare you do this? And if he would do this to me after having been introduced to him as Judge Hatchett, what else is happening? What about the women and men who are out here who don't have the resources that I have, who don't have the support of this amazing law firm and these amazing lawyers and all these people in the community who have stepped up and have been with me? This has been 20 months that they have manipulated the system with delays after delays after delays, in my opinion, so that he could hold on to not only his salary, but his pension. And I'm going to go there. I am going to go there. The governor did nothing. I'm going to go there. The governor, after men and women stood in front of the Capitol last October and demanded that the governor take action, he never suspended him until this today, when he resigned. He has been on salary and will have his full benefit. And so that is outrageous and it's unacceptable. And yes, I went there. And so what I will say, and I will take a few questions today, and I appreciate you all being collectively here so that I don't have to keep reliving this over and over as I talk. But I just want to say to the victims out there, speak up. People have to be accountable. And the judge said to me before I left the court today, I hope that you will continue to speak up. And that is what I will do. That is what this law firm will do. That is what others who are in this fight day in and day out will do. Because we must be the voice for the voiceless. We must stand in the gap. We must be there to support people who are not able to do what needs to be done to seek justice. And so with that, I will open it up for questions. And I got through it without falling apart. But if you go back and see the courtroom tape this morning, I was just all over the podium. I was like, whoop! And I didn't think I would, but I did. It has been hard.
But Patrick, why do you suppose the court system and the government took so long to recognize the decision?
Well, first of all, the governor still hasn't done anything. The defendant resigned this morning before entering a plea to preserve, basically, in my opinion, his pension. Had he taken the plea and been on the record as being guilty of this sexual assault, he would have forfeited under state law. And so I think that this was carefully orchestrated. I said to the judge this morning, I appreciate the backup with COVID and so forth and so on, but he was scheduled to plead, let's be very clear, the second week in September of last year, and he didn't. And it kept getting delays, He was going to plead, I'm going to go to trial, I'm going to plead, back and forth, until finally I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And it was finally set. And I think that Judge Brewer did a remarkable job. He actually went further than what the prosecutors asked for this morning. And he made it very clear as to why he did not grant first offender coverage or what am I trying? Protection. Thank you. That's why I have good people around me. Does that answer your question?
Yes. How do you feel about this sentence?
I think that justice was served. I do think that there was an abuse of the system on behalf of the defense. In this case, I just think there were too many delays. I would have liked for the solicitor to have been far more aggressive in opposing so many delays, because I think she got outmaneuvered, frankly. I mean, you know me long enough to know I'm just going to tell you what I think. I think she got outmaneuvered, and to the point where I had to put my foot down and say, absolutely enough. This has got to be resolved. And if he hadn't entered the plea today, he would then be, we would be on trial next Monday or Tuesday. And so I didn't know whether he was going to show up this morning. I mean, we went and it was scheduled, but we didn't know for sure whether he did. And he did resign, as I said, shortly before. But I do think justice was served. I do. I think there has to be accountability, and I think that this all needs to be done publicly. I will also add that his attorney had asked some time ago through the prosecutor to communicate with me if I would accept his apology and drop the charges. And the answer was an emphatic no. He did not apologize to me today. The judge gave him 3 opportunities to speak. Each time you were there, each time the judge said, is there anything else you wish to say? 3 separate times in the process. And he said no. It would have taken him 30 seconds to have I was right on the front row. It would have taken him 30 seconds to say, I'm sorry. He never said it. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I do not define myself based on whether he will ever apologize. That is not who I am. And I really, that's it. I don't care if he apologizes.
Is there a different standard for women victims accused of power?
I'm sorry,
Is there a different
standard for?
Issue of standard.
Well, I think.
To women victims who are
Well, I can't say that emphatically. I do think in this situation that it was handled poorly. I do. I think the governor could have made an important statement, as I was talking about earlier, that spoke to this and the impropriety of this. And for the governor's office to issue a statement saying that they weren't going to do anything because he was not on duty is absurd. It's ludicrous. And so I can't say yes emphatically on that, but I do have real concerns about what happens. And let me just go a step further on this. What if I were not Judge Hatchett? What if I didn't have a Chris Stewart? What if I didn't have a C.K. Hopper? What if I didn't have a Gerald Griggs? And all of these lawyers and all of these people who have come and stood with me shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. What if I couldn't afford to go to therapy? What would have happened that Thursday? What would have happened to me? You know, I am surrounded by so much support because I'm Judge Hatchett. But what about the women and men victims who aren't?
Come on now.
And that's why I've dedicated so much of my life, as you know, professionally, advocating and trying to be a voice for people who don't have a platform, who will never be able to stand in front of a press conference, who will never be heard. And so, yeah, I did file charges, and yes, I was going to see this through, and I was not going to dismiss the charges under any circumstances. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't have the time because y'all would have me on here all night, but I got video. I had other videos where the sheriff had other situations that he did, got away with it, and still was able to get that job as sheriff. This was a whole hot dirty mess, but I felt it was good to play her whole message because she said so much, and it was so powerful for her to acknowledge, what if I wasn't Judge Hatchett? What if I didn't have the money? What if I couldn't go to therapy? What would I have become? And there's so many females out there, they're not a Judge Hatchett.
The majority aren't.
Right. They can't afford the therapy. Some people, even when they have insurance, they can't afford their copay. And this is just real talk. Sometimes a $25 to $35 copay, if you're just going once a week, that's $100 and something a month that some people just don't have.
Try 142.
Come on now. That people just don't have. Right?
Because that's my copay for my psychologist is 142, and that's ridiculous because they only pay 30%.
And you know what? In my opinion, that's facts. I need to carry this because you got a lot to say. I know, guys, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to go around and want y'all to just comment really quickly, and maybe I will continue tomorrow with the pissed off fiance. But go ahead, Roya. What are your thoughts? I can't. In a crowded place, he grabbed her boob.
Ooh.
You know,
imagine what he's doing behind closed doors.
Not only grabbed it, he rubbed it and squeezed it and everything.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go around everybody. Go ahead, Roy.
Unfortunately, this is not something uncommon for him to feel so comfortable to do this in such a public setting where others are around. This is something that he does on a regular basis. This is something that's done in the workplace. This is something that's done in his personal life. Who knows? God knows only who he's doing it to in his personal life. So I will definitely be praying for, anybody in his family because this is disgusting. If you can do this to a complete stranger, you'll do it to a family member. Number two, let's not forget to mention, Auntie Diva, that just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Judge Hatchett and everything that her son was going through.
Yeah.
Remember the son, the wife and all of that situation? I believe she passed away, correctly? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. So she's already going through grief.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, to have to deal with this now, this is just shameful. I want to applaud the formerly retired sheriff who stood up and immediately took action when he seen inappropriate things were being done. And I applaud him for standing next to her. You would be surprised how many people keep silent, as we said earlier, until it's on their doorstep. So thank you, sir, for stepping out and stepping up. It is very hard when you work for the local government, as a Black person, when you see things, it's hard to make the decision to step up because you don't know whether or not you're going to get the backlash of it or not. But we appreciate him for doing that. I am definitely praying for Judge Hatchett, and I, will be asking prayers of God that this man gets the furthest extent of punishment that he can get. He needs to pay money back to the government for this year that it has taken him to, plead guilty or not guilty, or go to trial or not go to trial. His pension needs to be taken, and he needs jail time.
And but you see how they were slick. He waited and he did what he did so he could still get his child. This could be
But what goes around comes around, and it's coming around quick these days.
Yeah. Sebastian, your thoughts?
My thoughts are this: if he can do this in a public setting, imagine what he's doing behind closed doors.
I can't. I can't.
Imagine what he's doing behind closed doors.
I can't.
The law needs to be applied to him. I don't care if he was a sheriff or whatever he was. He could have been he could have been the world's leader. He still needs to be faced his time. The governor messed up big time on this. Well, no, didn't mess up. I believe the governor did this on purpose.
They did. Mm-hmm.
I believe the governor did this on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say something, and this may be problematic. Maybe criminals should not be able to get their pension check. I don't care, this man or anyone in general. Maybe if you do a crime, you probably should have to lose up your pension check. You should have to lose it. I don't care if whatever you were. That should be the law. You lose your pension check if you do a crime and you serve time for it and you become a convicted felon.
Yeah.
Also, I loved when she said, "What if I were not Judge Hatchett?"
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite part because majority of the times, maybe her case probably wouldn't have been solved if she wasn't Judge Hatchett.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would have not have happened. But I'm glad that justice has prevailed.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Judge Hatchett a lot because she's going through a lot. Because ever since the whole thing with her daughter-in-law and the baby situation.
Sebastian, I don't mean to, but you know what
That's what I'm gonna say.
Thank you. And the fact that he wouldn't even apologize. Your thoughts?
It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
So I'll start with this. I've met Thomas Brown, and he is a good guy, and I respect him and appreciate him for speaking out. As far as the governor, Brian Kemp, baby, he ain't shit. And I'm standing my ground on that. And like Judge Hatchett said in that video, I'm going there. For those of you who don't know, I worked at the Superior Court in this particular county about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So some time has passed, but I will tell you, these officers in uniform who know the law are some of the most conniving and underhanded batch of creeps you ever want to meet, with hugs a little too tight and their hands a little too low on your backside and the inappropriate stares. It's a lot that you see, even in the courthouse. So you can only imagine what goes on in the street, which is why I'm a big advocate for police cameras. Each time they're going out and they're interacting with the public, it needs to be recorded, not only for the protection of the citizens, but just in case someone is making a false report, it's for the police protection as well. Also, like Thomas said, and I'm going to wrap it up because I know you're on the time limit. Like Thomas said, the chief of police set the stage for the culture. Okay? Yeah. And judging by Kemp's response as the governor, he seems complicit. The fact that they let this go on for 20 months. So I want to know what skeletons are in Brian Kemp's closet. What is he suppressing? But again, I have to fault the citizens of Georgia because we had the opportunity to get rid of Kemp when Stacey Abrams was running, right? We had the opportunity to get Kemp out, but they voted Kemp back in, you see? So we have to drain the swamp, and I'm praying for justice for Judge Hatchett.
Ooh, thank you. Leo, your thoughts?
I'm going to keep it quick because we got to get off this train because I got to go.
Yes,
but I feel I really do appreciate Judge Hatchett for standing in the front line and putting her story out there and relentlessly going after these people for justice. And I think she needs to sue this man civilly. She need to get her coin, okay? She need to get that pension because I'm quite sure they're going to give it to him anyway. So she need to come for it on the other end, on the back end.
I agree.
It was disrespectful. How you going to SA a full judge unless you can get down with the get down like that and you ain't even bothered by that? Black woman, that's the judge. I am so incensed by this. I cannot believe this. I believe it because it happens in these good old boy towns where they get to get away with what they do. But I hope she sue. I hope she sue him till he can't even afford dentures in his mouth when he old.
Child, that part. Look it up. He's a whole hot mess. Let me go back up. Dustin, your thoughts?
My thoughts is I'm so glad that she spoke out about it, Diva. And it's so sad to see. It's so sad to see her hurting. I know she was already had stuff going on. So I'm praying for Judge Hatchett, and I hope she gets the well-deserved justice that she deserves.
Thank you.
I think it is very sad, and I think that they need to do a better job of when when they're dealing with the law.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you so much, Dustin. In my opinion,
You're welcome, Diva.
This fool shouldn't be charged with no misdemeanor. It should be a whole felony assault charge. And I'm telling you, don't make me have to come to Georgia, because Alabama ain't nothing but a hop and a skip away. Because let me tell you something, that man need to be hit with an Alabama slammer real quick, okay? Because they need to know we ain't gonna do this, okay? What we not gonna do is
We not
disrespect
doing
Judge
it at
Hatchett,
all.
okay? Because let me tell you something, I am good for getting on the calls and calling every senator I know. And let me tell you, I got some people in high places. I'm gonna be getting on the phone tomorrow.
Bring your folding chair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I ain't gonna bring no folding chair for him. It's a sledgehammer.
The Alabama sledgehammer. Didn't you say it?
Ah,
Speak on it. Opinion.
yeah. Don, your thoughts?
I'm grateful that Judge Hatchett had the strength and the courage to even support to come forward with this.
Yeah.
It's not just the word I want to use is weak-willed, or maybe not as strong women that don't come forward with essay, but there's a lot of strong women that don't come forward with essay with feeling that they're going to be looked down upon. And because this is a strong Black woman, I'm glad that she came forward and said what happened to her, to give other people maybe some courage to come forward and say what happened to them. Of course, we all know that there's a good old boy network, and sometimes what we want to happen don't happen because they know people. And that's what happened in this case. I think Governor Kemp held this man's hand and told him what to do. He had some attorneys in his ear and said, we're going to push this back. And that's exactly what they did. And I hope the feds come after this and take a look at this case and take over.
I agree with you, right? Because they want to make sure he got his money, his pension.
Yeah.
A shame. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, this is, reminds me of the last talk we had about law enforcement. And these are the reasons all too often why I don't have a great deal of respect for law enforcement. And for those who may feel a certain way, what I'm saying is when you abuse your power, when you abuse the law, you do what you want, where you want, whenever you want. And that, what was done publicly, as many have said, we can only imagine what it was like to work for that predator. Every day, somebody had to encounter that predator in a hallway, elevator, in a cafeteria, and they probably need to maybe come together and get a civil action suit against this law enforcement sheriff, and to be compensated economically for all of the pain and suffering they had to endure. For the folks who may not have ever experienced anything like it, it takes great bravery and courage. It's not about necessarily being strong or weak. You've got to be brave and courageous and have a faith so deeply rooted that you know the righteousness that you deserve is going to prevail. Congratulations to Judge Hackett for having that kind of courage and faith to keep going when she couldn't imagine not being able to get up out of her bed 48 hours after it happened.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diva, for bringing this story forward tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Felicia. I appreciate you too. And I'm gonna be mindful sometimes of these stories that I had, because there was so much more information on this guy, but maybe I will show it tomorrow. But the fact that, nobody thinks, especially at any age, but imagine, she's 72, you know who I am, and in front of people. So imagine if this unfortunately didn't happen in front of people. He would have lied. In front of people, you point, you grab, you.
He been doing it, so he felt no problem. He been doing it.
I agree with you on that, Leo. Emmanuel, your thoughts, you'll close us out.
It is such a disgrace that a man who's supposed to provide safety or others
Yeah.
to do this. I can't even imagine what it would feel like to be standing there as a successful, accomplished woman of color, and you have this gross man come behind you, grab your breast and squeeze. Like, what a violation. I mean, that's horrible. And he's an old man, so this for sure hasn't been his first time. They need to open up an investigation. Props to the man who stepped up and stopped in when he saw it. My heart and support goes to the judge. You can see the hurt in her face, but
Yeah.
she's very brave for coming out. And speaking about the governor, because of the state, because that takes courage. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Very sad story that unfortunately happens in real life to many people, and because some of them don't have a witness. Others are just petrified on speaking up, and for the judge herself to acknowledge, what if it wasn't me? This man would have never had to resign. He would have never lost his, left it just sad. We may pick up on this again tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, everybody, for the passionate conversation on all the topics. Truly appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody's comments. And listen, sometimes, guys, we just have to agree to disagree, but it's all in love. We want everybody in the chat to know that. We want y'all to know that we get it in over here. We get it in, but we still, at the end of the day, we all truly do love each other. And if you notice, it's mostly the same people. So you know that we are not, at it for real. We're just at it, and we're all passionate about saying our side of the conversation. Wayne, we're closing out, but
I got bumped out early. I was trying to multitask. So I was logged in right, and I went on the when I came back out, this is already knocked out. And of course, and I was in like about 7:13.
How did you
get bumped out? I said I might as well finish my stuff. I ain't getting in.
Yeah. All right, but did you want to say something real quick before I close out?
Hi, y'all.
Oh, well, hi, Wayne. Love you.
I saw somebody dropped out, so I said, let me jump in.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, listen, thanks for being here. Don't forget, hit the like button. I'll see you next time tomorrow night, Wednesday night, trending topics. Have a good one. Hit that like button, guys. Bye.
Opinion, Sebastian, Emmanuel.
Hey,
Dustin.